They say if you want to hide anything from the black man or the African, you should write it in a book. If it's in a book, he's unlikely to read it and understand it. It is also said that if you want to see someone who takes no responsibility for himself and his actions, who think that his actions should not have any repercussions, you should look to the African. The African, in this case, are the people living in Africa who blame everything but themselves for the crisis that they have. This is the current thing that is happening in Nigeria, where some people are discovering, according to them, that it is because of the mineral resources that we have in abundance in the country that we have these ethnic conflicts and these attacks by bandits and extremist groups such as Boko Haram and ISWAP ravaging the country. But is it true? Is it correct to say that because you have oil or that you have mineral resources, you are prone to or will easily translate to becoming a country that is rife with violence and instability? This is The Other Side. My name is Rumande Shawulu. At his resumed sitting in the House of Representatives last week, a member from one of the northwestern states brought a motion, and in the motion he spoke about the increase in the activities of bandits and criminal, violent non-state actors that are ravaging the areas, especially the states of Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto, because of the discovery of gold and other solid mineral resources in the area. As far as is concerned, this is one of the primary causes of the problem. Of course, he's not alone. There are several prominent Nigerians, including, of course, security chiefs, that have said that the crisis, the violence that we have, that have ravaged the northwest, northeast, and the central areas of Nigeria are caused mainly by the discovery of solid minerals in some areas. We have had stories that helicopters go to drop arms for those bandits. We've had stories that foreigners are involved, and these stories are increasing by the day, they are not decreasing. So for several people, it serves as a sort of comfort that we are not responsible for the violence that is affecting our country. But is it really so? Is it true that anywhere that you have solid minerals, you will have violence and crisis? The member that made these comments on the floor of the House was not the first that brought up such an issue. As a matter of fact, there was a time that the governor of Zamfara state banned the issuance of letters of consent, documents that are required by the Ministry of Solid Minerals to enable companies or individuals applying for mining licenses to get them, because they said that the availability of those consent and the fight over mining space was responsible for the violence that have devastated Zamfara state, among others. The Chief of Army Staff, the late Chief of Army Staff, also made those comments. The Nigerian Civil Defense has also made such comments. And we've had stories of several Chinese nationals being arrested in the bushes with solid minerals they had mined, and in some cases they were asked and they did not produce the documents that gave them the powers to mine the minerals that they were found with. But that does not explain the whole story. If you check the map of solid minerals across the country, you will see that there is hardly any state in the country that does not have precious solid minerals. You could as well say that Nigeria may have as much solid minerals resources as the petroleum resources that is available in different parts of the country. But as you can see from the maps of the conflicts, if you map the conflict that we've had, the banditry, kidnappings, and the ISWAP and Boko Haram attacks all over the country, you will see that even though they have spread and are threatening to go to all parts of the country, it is not true that all states of the country that bear minerals resources have those conflicts. Indeed, not all states, even those states that have minerals, are equally affected in the same manner as other states. That means that some states have more of those conflicts than others. This same picture is true of the whole of the African continent. Indeed, it is also true of the global picture, that we have solid minerals, precious minerals, some call them rare earth minerals, in different parts of the world. And it is not in every part of the world that you have those resources, that you have violence, the type of violence that we have in Nigeria. Just take a look at the table below. You will see countries such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burkina Faso, Mali, Sudan, Niger, Mozambique, the Central African Republic, Ethiopia, and if you go outside Nigeria, countries like Burma, Afghanistan, Russia, Venezuela, Colombia, and Nigeria are all convulsing in different types of crises. And this crisis is not just because they have solid minerals. Because equally within Africa, if you look at the second table, within Africa, you will see that there are some other countries that also have minerals. Some of the resources that they have may actually be more than some of the states that are convulsing in violence, but they do not have the type of violence that exists in others. If you look at countries such as Botswana and Namibia, if you look at Zambia, Ghana, Morocco, Mauritania, South Africa, Senegal, Ivory Coast, even nearby Cameroon, and Sierra Leone, which Nigeria went in to help them stabilize. These countries do not have the type of conflicts that exist in others. Admittedly, countries such as Sierra Leone and Rwanda went through different spells of crisis. But the minerals did not get exhausted. They still have solid minerals. But the violence have stopped. Certain things have happened. And that is the reason why you do not have the violence the way we have in other countries. So we should not in Nigeria take refuge in the belief that because we have solid minerals, we must have violence. There are some countries in the world, such as the United States, countries like Canada, countries like even Great Britain, and some European countries, they have the oil, the type of oil that we have in Nigeria. If you even look at the Nordic countries, the Scandinavian countries, they have resources, they have oil, the type of oil that we have in Nigeria. They have solid minerals, the type that we have, but they are not convulsing in violence the way we are convulsing in violence in Nigeria. Violence that appear to be threatening the existence of the country called Nigeria. Indeed, there must be some reasons why some countries that bear solid minerals are engulfed in conflicts and some that have minerals are not engulfed in conflicts. Some of these reasons are not very difficult to see. One of which is the existence of a strong governance structure. A governance structure that provides law and order, that punishes people that do wrong, that ensures that the institutions of states perform the duties that they ought to perform. Weak institutions, the type that we have in the country, breed crisis. It is the weak institutions that create or sustain the so-called farmer-herders conflict. It is the weaknesses of the state that allow people to go to mine minerals without permits and permissions. There are countries in the world where such things cannot happen. And it is those countries in the world that have established strong state systems, countries that have strong institutions that are able to even step off or stop people coming from outside to create problems within their country. If you take a look at even Nigeria, we have what we call rosewood in Nigeria, or rather we had what we call rosewood in Nigeria, what in some places they call Madrid, the wood that Chinese and people from Vietnam came into the country, went into the bushes with connivance with local authorities, have cut down this rosewood that is used to create exotic, very expensive furniture for kings and rich people around the world. And in Nigeria, people have not seen the value of the rosewood that were created. Some of the wood that were cut down had been in existence for over 200 years. Now it may potentially take well over 50 years before we may begin to see rosewood in our forest again. If you look at some of these countries that are stable, there's political inclusiveness. Even where you do not have a system of democracy such as Saudi Arabia, the state is strong. The state does not brook any form of violence. People that do wrong things are penalized. People that don't fall into line are brought to book. And the state has resources and pushes the resources to include even those that are unable to have things the way to have. The state pushes the wealth that it has into the hands of the citizens, providing them for accommodation, providing them with what will make them proud to be members of those societies. And those things are not happening in Nigeria and most of these places where you have this violence. Of course, there are some countries like Saudi Arabia that arguably may not be very transparent, that autocratic, authoritarian. But largely, many of the countries that are stable, like the Nordic countries or even countries like Canada or even the United States of America, there's, beside the inclusivity of the society and polity, you also have a situation where the government at least appears accountable to the citizens of the country. And if we want to solve this problem that we have, we need to go back to the very essence of the creation of a political society. People historically want the state to provide for them. They want the state to protect them, or the state at least to provide the environment for them to live lives of dignity. That is hardly what is happening in the country. Like General Salihu, the former chief of army staff in Nigeria, said, Nigeria now is like a country where anything can happen, where foreigners can come in, do whatever they want to do and get out, where there is no accountability, the rule of law does not exist, and people are losing interest, losing confidence in not just the political system, but even in the justice and police system. This is The Other Side. My name is Romande Shaulu. Please share this video, go to our comment section and comment. Let me know your views. Do you think that it's just because we have minerals that we have crisis in the country, or because the governance structure is not good enough? We have not built a governance structure that will fight crime and protect the citizens, which is where many things, not just the mineral resources, have been taken away and citizens are not seeing the benefits of such things.